the reason he wants to reduce income tax might be, as you say, or it might be, but by having all working people have more of their own money, keep more of their own money, they'll be able to spend it on things they want that will encourage the economy.
No, that's always what they say. Supply side economics, my ass.
Cenk Uygur looks like an utter buffoon on Piers Morgan once again. This time they're talking about Donald Trump's economy and his tariffs and promises as president. And obviously Cenk Uygur has to go against it because that's what he does. That's what his job is. But as always, it makes him sound like a buffoon in the process. So let's see how Cenk Uygur does this time on Piers Morgan.
Hastened a potential settlement, I would argue it has. He's got Zelensky to agree to the parameters of a peace arrangement. He's got to persuade Putin. That's the big test. We'll see if Putin goes along with it or what Trump does to Putin to make him go along with it. But I do see method there to what he's doing. Same with Israel. We're going to come to the Israel-Gaza situation a little later. But I do see, like the tariffs. He's always been on about tariffs, Trump.
Tariffs is his favourite word.
I've known Trump 20 years. He's always had a bee in his bonnet about tariffs and about other countries ripping America off. And so he's saying, right, if you're going to do this to us, we're going to whack you. And they're all blinking, by the way, these countries.
Yeah, I mean, I just would like to talk about tariffs because I think that's really important. As we're talking, a lot of what's happening in the stock exchange is because of his tariffs. Now, why this is really important is because he managed to appeal to working people in America, the forgotten, the Rust Belt, the flyover state people whose industries were gutted. I think we might have some agreement on this. These were left behind Americans. And they were left behind by globalism, by free trade across the world. They were the ones who suffered.
Indisputably.
Now, his ideas with tariffs, whether or not he can pull them off, none of us can know whether or not it will. But the idea is to bring back, to onshore those industries, encourage manufacturing. I would note Elon Musk has said he's going to double Tesla productions, increase manufacturing in America. This is done specifically for the working people of America. It's a reason why the unions, or at least uneducated unions...
He's a working class hero, Cenk.
No.
I love it when Piers... Like, Piers knows Cenk doesn't like Trump, so I like how Piers, he's a working class hero, right, Cenk? Like, he knows how to wind these people up and then just let them go off. He always does that when he has these lefties on the show. It's like he tosses them the wacko ball and then they hit it right out of the park. So now let's see. Let's see what Cenk has to say in response now.
Nonsense. So look, here's the thing. Is he running as a populist? Yes, he ran as a populist. Yes, he talked about bringing jobs back, manufacturing back, etc. But what's he actually going to do? A $4.5 trillion tax cut for the richest people in the world, for corporate executives. The reason why they're doing all these Doge cuts in a panicked, chaotic way is so they can say, oh, no, it's okay. The Doge cuts will cover the $4.5 trillion. Oh, it's okay. The gold card and the tariffs will cover the $4.5 trillion. When that's utter nonsense. You know it's not going to cover the $4.5 trillion. It's a giant giveaway. Look, he's a bit of a Trojan horse for corporate rule. So he rolls in as a populist, he opens up the hatch, and then next thing you know, Elon Musk and all the tech bros come out of the horse and go, give us giant tax cuts. Give us deregulation. Fire everyone at the SEC. Fire all the inspector generals. Why? Because we're going to rob the place blind. And then we'll give me a crypto reserve filled with junk. That makes no sense at all. So trillions of dollars in robbery headed in our direction. And who's it going to help? The average American? No, it's going to rob the average American to help corporate executives. So let's be honest about what's happening.
Let's be honest with what's happening. Cenk Uygur, you never have any good arguments other than tax cuts for the rich. Tax cuts for the rich. Yeah, he says all these things, but really, he's just going to go in there to benefit all of his rich friends. That's always Cenk Uygur's argument. Always. Even though, didn't Trump just float out the idea right now of people making 150 grand and under not paying any taxes? Oh yeah, that sounds like a huge tax cut for the rich. Yeah, he's there to give tax cuts for the rich, but he's thinking about rolling out a proposal where, remember the no income tax proposal that he wanted to roll out? Now he's rolling out this thing where, well, how about people 150K and under don't pay any taxes? Oh yeah, tax cuts for the rich, Cenk. Yeah, makes complete sense. Yeah, by the way, I want to remind everyone, Cenk Uygur is rich. Yeah, he's not like a huge Elon Musk billionaire or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But Cenk Uygur is a millionaire.
That's the worst faith interpretation of what's going on. Let me paint the best faith interpretation. It's a three-pronged attack. One, you clear out, and this is what's happening with Doe, you clear out federal waste, you clear out government waste, which they're doing. Musk says he wants to get $2 trillion out. I don't think that's feasible. Maybe he'll get $1 trillion. He says he can get $1 trillion this year.
Tired
But
of his lies, though?
hang on a sec.
Because you know he's not going to do $2 trillion.
Hang on a sec. So then the other aspect, the other foot of the stool, the tripod, is tariffs. He's hoping to onshore manufacturing, bring back that to America. And the final piece is reducing income. Now, income tax, excuse me. The reason he wants to reduce income tax might be, as you say, or it might be, but by having all working people have more of their own money, keep more of their own money, they'll be able to spend it on things that they want that will encourage the economy.
No, that's always what they say. Supply side economics, my ass.
In Cenk Uygur's world, telling people they don't have to pay a tax. Oh, no, they can't do, they always say that. Oh, but Bernie Sanders, his boyfriend, saying, yes, socialized healthcare for all, socialized healthcare for everyone. Oh, no, yeah, that's good. Thumbs up. Yes, we love it.
Is the biggest trick on not only just American people, but people all across the world. That's what they call it the laugher curve, because they laugh their ass off at the average guy who believes it. So the idea is trickle-down economics. We give all of the money to the rich, trillions and trillions and trillions. Later, they trickle all over you, and you'll have to thank them for it. No. So I guarantee...
Or trickle-down government economics, where you just give all your money to the government, and then they trickle it down and take care of the population, which Cenk loves, by the way. Cenk loves government trickle-down economics.
The $4.5 trillion is a robbery. That's robbery number one. I'm worried about robbery number two, which is crypto. So I don't know why we have a crypto reserve. The crypto guys told me that they didn't like the government. They wanted the government stinking hands off their crypto. All of a sudden, Trump said, they're like, no, buy my crypto, make the American taxpayers buy my crypto. No, I don't want your crap. You like your crap, you keep your crap, okay? But I don't need average Joe in Nebraska and Jane in Kansas buying your crypto for you, okay, in a reserve. So this is all a giant robbery. But the problem is, by the time people find out whether I'm right, you're right, Piers, or you're right, Winston, it's going to be too late. The money's already going to be gone.
You don't dispute that after 3 years of his first term, the U.S. economy was in good shape. You don't dispute that.
No, I don't dispute that. But you don't dispute that Biden's economy was also in good shape.
Well, one of the reasons Trump, I think, reacted so badly to the pandemic was he knew it was crushing the stock market, it was crushing the economy, it was attacking the very things he cares most about, which is money and the economy. He's a money guy. And I think that he felt awful about that. It really affected him. But for the 3 years, as I've said to him, for the 3 years up until that point, actually the US economy was in good shape. And that's why I think a lot of Americans went, you know what? I sort of back Trump on the economy. I may not even like him, but I kind of think he knows what he's doing on the economy. When you say he doesn't know what he's doing, I do dispute that. He's got some incredibly smart guys there around him. Yeah. I see them all the time, but these are smart people.
I get what you're saying. And, look, I'm fair about the facts. So those 3 years were pretty good. So now you could say, hey, Cenk, that proves the case. But it doesn't prove the case.
But it might prove he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So what I'm saying is, look, that time there was an establishment that was in the White House. And they frustrated him in a lot of ways. Half the time they were wrong, half the time they were right. But they were the brakes in the car. This is a car without any brakes. So we're now in a Tesla with no brakes at all, almost a driverless car, and it's careening out of control.
And it's getting firebombed by left-wing wackos.
Somebody to go, hey, brother, if you do 50% tariffs on Canada, the stock market's going to drop by 1,000 points. Everybody knows that.
But everyone knows this is all negotiation going on, these tariffs, right? He is negotiating from a very strong position. But he's the president of the United States. But he's the biggest dog. He's the biggest dog in the race.
But when I say 50 and then you say 25 within the same day once the stock market crashes, you look weak.
Do you?
Yeah, of course you do.
It depends what the other side do.
It makes everybody think, oh, he's bluffing. He's bluffing. We just wait him out.
A lot of the time he is bluffing.
He is often bluffing. Right. But the problem is, have you ever played poker? When you're playing against a bluffer, you love it.
I've met New York real estate tycoons, and guess what? The art of the bluff is a real thing.
It is, but it's an art. If you bluff on every hand, you're going to get called and you're going to lose all your money. Every poker player knows that.
He doesn't bluff all the time.
He does nothing but bluffing.
He negotiates all the time.
Yeah, he does. He does. Look, I don't mind the negotiation. And look, we've got a pendulum swinging.
Because I feel with you, Che.
The thing is that Trump, Trump recognizes that the United States is the #1 superpower in the world. Okay, so right now he's a superpower playing poker with a bunch of people that aren't superpowers. It would be like a billionaire playing poker with a bunch of non-billionaires, like maybe some millionaires and then maybe some thousandaires. The thing is, Trump knows and recognizes that he has all, like the United States has all the power and has all of the negotiation power. So even if someone does call his bluff, he actually has the means to go through with what he claims if he has to. And that's the difference there that Cenk doesn't want to recognize.
Journey with Trump. I think you're far less, if I may say so, without offending you, hysterical about Trump than you were before. I do think you've calmed down about it because I think you do understand, as I've known him a long time, always focus on what Trump actually does rather than what he says in any given moment, which may sound preposterous given he's the President of the United States. But look how much he talks, not least to the media. He's already done more talking, freewheeling chats with the media in America in his first 5-6 weeks than Obama and Biden did in their first 6 months, right? This is a guy who just chats away. He says the first thing that comes into his head a lot of the time. It's not presidential by the normal yardstick, but I think a lot of people find it quite refreshing.
So, Piers, the pendulum is swinging. So Biden and the Democrats did absolutely nothing. And they always brag about how they do nothing. Oh, there's nothing we can do, right? Now, Trump is taking nonstop chaotic action. Nonstop. It's a cyclone of action, right? So the country wants it, but they don't want it as chaotic as he's got.
The country's a bit like the stock markets. They're a bit freaked out by it. They don't quite know what to make of it. Stock markets are a bunch of headless chickens, right? We know this.
Yeah.
Right? Good and bad, right? They can fly up and down on a heartbeat of what they call
But we
confidence.
do know some things, Piers. We know that if you do a 50% tariff on Canada, the stock market's going to
If you genuinely think it's going to still be 50% in 6 months' time.
Yeah,
I doubt it'll be there in 6 days.
So you're asking the stock market to stop believing what Trump is saying. He's obviously lying all the time
to
and bluffing.
basically remember that it's better to focus on longer term with Trump than in the short moment.
One more thing,
Before we get to Cenk's last statement, Piers Morgan is 100% correct. That's my feelings too. Yes, things may be chaotic right now, but the thing is with Trump, things might be chaotic in the short term, but I think in the long term, it's going to be much more beneficial for the American people. You know, you got Democrats and Joe Biden. There was like a lot of damage done. And, you know, we were so used to that system of just their system. And so, yeah, Donald Trump is going in there and he's shaking it all up. He's shaking it all up. And so, yeah, to a lot of people, it's going to be scary. And yes, it's going to mean that there's going to be some instability with the stock markets or the economy or what have you. Like, picture it like remodeling a home, okay? If you go into a home and it's an absolute disaster inside that you have to make numerous repairs and numerous remodeling, yeah, like while it's happening, it's going to look like a mess. You're going to be going in there like, why is there a huge hole in this wall? Hey, I thought you were going to come in here and clean out this house. It's like, yeah, I am cleaning out the house, but there's a lot of work to be done here. I got to knock down a few walls first. I got to do this. I got to do that. Yeah, in the short term, yes, everything's going to be messy in here. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. But in the long term, this house is going to be beautiful.
We've now had 50 days. So you're right. I'm much more open-minded, and the left is attacking me for being open-minded. And I said, I'll hear Trump out. I'll hear Musk out. Are they really going to cut the Pentagon? But now the jury is coming in. Now they're saying, no, we're not going to cut the Pentagon. We were lying about that. We're going to add $100 billion to the Pentagon. Are we still doing the $4.5 trillion tax cut to corporate executives? Yes, we are. Are we now starting to arrest people for, criticizing Israel? Yes, we are.
Well, let's come to that because that's a big.
So that was Cenk Uygur looking like a doofus once again on Piers Morgan. But I think at this point, Piers Morgan just has him on to look like a doofus. But Piers Morgan did give him credit, saying, listen, you have calmed down a lot. His Cenk's TDS has somewhat calmed down. So maybe there is a cure. Who knows? Or maybe Cenk Uygur's just been grifting this whole time. Who knows? But Cenk Uygur always has an agenda, and it's always going to be this anti-Trump narrative. So no matter what Trump does, he's always going to find a way to push back against it because that's what he does. And that's what his job is. What do you guys think, though? Sound off in the comment section below. Smash that like button if you like this. And if you really liked it, please consider subscribing to my channel. I upload 2 videos a day. If you like stuff like this, if you like watching Piers Morgan, if you like watching Cenk Uygur look like a buffoon, I got more content on my channel that I think you'll enjoy, along with a bunch of other stuff that I also think you will enjoy. So feel free to binge away.